Here we have a new 2025 Toyota Corolla Cross. This one is a hybrid, comes in the S trim level. Celestite gray metallic is the paint, and then we have ash cloth interior. The powertrain consists of a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder hybrid engine that's mated with an ECVT. But as we come around to the front end here, love the front fascia, LED headlamps. And I really like how they did the front fascia here. Even though you have like mostly black plastic there, I like how this is kind of gloss black and the emblem is blacked out by whatever tint is in front of it. Now down here to the wheels, these are going to be 17-inch alloy wheels. We get passive keyless entry on the front, and then to the door panel here, power mirror controls, power door lock controls, rear window lock. We get one-touch up and down windows on all 4 doors, bottle holders, and then we have our automatic high beams, traction control, fuel lid, hood release. Then we get a manual tilt telescoping steering wheel there. And then we have a 6-way manual driver's seat. But I want to give a huge thanks to John Roberts Toyota here in Manchester, Tennessee for allowing me to review this Corolla Cross today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these, new or used, closer to home, click that second or third link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever vehicle you might be interested in. But I'm sitting behind the driver's seat here. That's my space here. Not terrible. I can fit back here, but not necessarily comfortable. Seat back pocket is here. Rear AC vents. And while I'm at it, one of the reasons I probably don't have the maximized space, this is one of the pluses of having a power seat, is I can't get to that perfect seating position. But with the power seat, I can give myself a little bit more space back here, I think. Grab handles here. We can hang a shirt or pair of pants there if we need to. That hook seems pretty sturdy. You might be able, if it's like a pair of shorts and a shirt on metal hangers, they might fit in there pretty good. Child locks on both sides, lock, unlock there. Here's a fuel cap, takes regular. And there's a look at the back end. I like the blacked out badging as well. Now this is cool. You have a tow hitch that's integrated right in the bumper there. And then this is a view of the cargo space. You can pull this up here, and then you have the tire inflator kit. You can actually, I think, put a spare there if you want to. Well, no, that's why you can't put a spare in there, because that's I guess that runs to the battery there, that cord. So only tire inflator kit on this one. But side pockets are pretty nice. The top tethers integrate on the back of the seats. I like that. And I think a pretty good package here for this to be an S. Now if you're gonna fold the seats, push this in, folds flat. You can run longer objects through to the front. And pretty easy to snap it back into place. And you have your lower latch anchors right here. But here to the window sticker, y'all can take a closer look by pausing the video if you see anything. Now I will say this has an all-wheel drive system, so it's pretty neat that you're still able to get 45 city with this car. But $31,502 is the retail price here. And then our front passenger seat, you get a manual seat back, seat bottom. Glove compartment here with the owner's manual. And then as we come back around to the front, just a quick look in the engine bay. But there's that 2-liter hybrid setup. Now before we hop in, I'm just gonna show off the blinkers. So LED there. And then we have an incandescent bulb on the front. But pretty impressed we have LEDs on the back. Again, especially since this one is an S. But let's hop in the driver's seat. So vinyl wrap steering wheel. There's the horn. And just a quick run through of the radio. It's not flashing like that. That's just how my camera's picking up the screen. You can set up the cloud navigation if you want to pay for Experience Drive Connect. You have AM, FM, XM radio, but then you also have Apple Music and Amazon Music too. And it's pretty easy to, just go through the sources, things of that nature. And then we have the Bluetooth, trip info, and then my favorite is the energy flow chart there. You can see what's powering the wheels, what's charging the battery. And then your general settings here include your language and units of measurement you can change. Wi-Fi, hotspot, apps, your sound, you can adjust the bass and treble. It's all in the settings, so pretty easy to use the system. Now your backup camera's there. You might have seen earlier the volume knob. You can turn that up or down, then you can unmute by hitting that button. Hazards. We get single zone automatic climate controls. We can adjust fan speed here. The auto mode we can turn on and then adjust that by adjusting the fan speed. We can use the S-Flow by cutting off the back vents. Your Eco Heat and Cool is here. You can change the fan direction by hitting this button. Cut the whole system off there. You get a USB-C port that connects directly to the radio, And then a little storage pocket back in here. Now for the shifter, push the button in reverse and neutral drive, then you get your simulated shifts here if you want to use those with that ECVT, and then reverse neutral drive. Pretty self-explanatory. Automatic brake hold is here. Your electronic parking brake, pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down to disengage. 2 bottle holders are here in the middle. And then your center console cubby space, you have a USB-C charge port and a 12 volt right there. There's a look at the back seat from up here. LED lights. There's your vanity mirror. And then back to the steering wheel itself. Left side stock, blinkers, high beams, you can flash there. And then you have your intermittent wipers. One time off, intermittent low, high. And then on the left side of the steering wheel, you can use these 4 arrows to go through the gauge cluster. Different views within each sub menu, and you can go through the sub menus by going left to right there. So there's a lot that you can see. You also have your energy monitor, tire pressure monitors, and your all-wheel drive torque output there. And then volume, voice recognition, Bluetooth. This goes to your audio sources, track list, radio station presets, and then you have your modes you can go through, adaptive or standard here. When in adaptive, you can adjust the gap, and then you have the lane keeping system you can turn on. So once this is in adaptive and this is on, you can hit this and that activates the full driving support system, and you can set your speed there. Trip meter can be toggled there with this button. And then push button start. Finally, here is the key fob. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2025 Corolla Cross Hybrid out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Corolla Cross Hybrid, pickup's relatively good, I think, for a 2-liter naturally aspirated hybrid engine. It's got a bit of a groan to it, but nothing highly annoying or something that would get on your nerves after a while. It's a hybrid. You feel that it's a hybrid, but you also feel like you're driving a Corolla. It doesn't feel as refined as the Camry hybrids, but you're not paying for a Camry hybrid either. Now, I do like that we have different drive modes here. That's a big plus, I think, in a car like this. Just having the Eco, having the normal, having the Sport, and then also having that EV mode as well. Now, like I said a little bit earlier, the manual seat, it's kind of hard to get that perfect spot, but it's doable, I think. So one thing that freaks me out in this car is where you have a typical tachometer and speedometer. When the EV mode comes on, you're letting off the gas, you're kind of like in a regen mode. That tachometer just goes to 0 and you're thinking, oh my gosh, did my engine just die? But it's just because the engine isn't on. So I've been in EV mode this whole time. Now as I come out of this corner, give it a bit of throttle, it'll kick back on the gas engine, but you actually have to give it quite a bit. So I'm giving it a little throttle now. It's actually accelerating and it's still in EV mode, but then that gas engine kicks back on. It's one of the benefits of having that ECVT. It's always ready to go. So I'm going to put it in a sport. It's for a second. So you can still go into EV mode in sport when the regen's on. Now I will say the all-wheel drive system here, I believe, is not necessarily something you could turn on or off, but in certain situations it will kick on if it feels you in a light, let's say dirt, or a situation where you need the all-wheel drive. This is one of those vehicles where if you need that additional traction for whatever reason, that's when that rear axle kicks on. But for the most part, it's a hybrid and it's meant to get you that ultimate fuel economy. So it's not something that you can necessarily flip on like a four-wheel drive or like a four-wheel drive Tacoma. It's not something you can just flip on and do this, that, and the other. It's all electronically controlled. But I like having that because you never know when you might need it. But all in all, I think you have a good package here for the money. I mean, the screen is very nice looking, but it's relatively basic in a good way. It's not going to be easy to confuse yourself with this system. Your settings are here, your vehicle maps are here, and you basically only have the trip info, the energy flow, and the vehicle alerts. Your Bluetooth's there, audio sources are there, and then you have the cloud nav if you want that, which I would never use. But everything you need is in there within 5 menus for the most part. But I like how it still feels good in sport mode. It doesn't feel overly touchy. It's just, it still feels good. It's just has a, you know, that throttle, when you give it a little bit of something, it pulls, as opposed to the Eco where it just gives you a little bit and you have to basically put your foot down to get it going. But if you have a vehicle like that, you're probably not going to be driving it you're not going to be driving it that sporty. You're going to be using it to be efficient, to save on the fuel, especially if you want to get that mid-40s fuel economy, which I think is just incredible for a vehicle of this caliber. But you see how much the engine is cut on and off while I'm driving around, so I see why that fuel economy is probably relatively easy to get to. Now in this sport mode, we are going to give it a little pull, not going to floor it, but going to give it something. Here we go. Okay, so the all-wheel drive kicked on there. So I believe the car, first of all, it got up to speed very nicely for what it is. But I believe the car kicked on the rear tires because it felt a little bit of wheel spin. So that was pretty cool seeing that in action. Because I came around the corner and just to, you know, again, keep that traction where it's supposed to be, it did its thing there. So that was pretty cool. But let's put it into eco, and then I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Put the sport shifts on. Yeah, that's pretty fun actually. But I want to give a huge thanks to John Roberts Toyota once again here in Manchester, Tennessee, for allowing me to review this car. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second or third link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get to the best price on this or whatever vehicle you might be interested in. But lane tracing assist is on, adaptive cruise control is on, makes those road trips even better when you're getting around 36, 37, or was it 38 miles per gallon on the highway. And this, as I've driven this, I've driven a Corolla Cross S in the past, but it wasn't a hybrid. This hybrid feels so much better behind the wheel. I love having the EV mode where this thing basically goes into whenever it feels like it. Helps with that fuel economy. But then having the all-wheel drive system here that's so smart that when it feels like you need that all-wheel drive capability, it just kicks on. It's fantastic. But even the sound acoustics in here are good. Even though I don't like manual seats because I can't get that perfect seating position, I still like that these are relatively comfortable. I just have no complaints about this car for the money. And just really relaxing. There's still enough here to make this feel like it's got a bit of tech in it. Having the automatic single zone climate control, having the different drive modes you can toggle, those simulated shifts with the ECVT, but then also having the AM, FM, XM, wireless CarPlay, Amazon Music, Apple Music. There's just so much here. And I think it's again, a solid car for the money, but just a solid hybrid in general. Especially if you want something that's like the Corolla Hybrid, that drives like the Corolla Hybrid, but you just have a little bit more space to do what you need to do. And with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2025 Corolla Cross Hybrid S.